Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about a much more accurate way to find GPS coordinates if you're looking for survey markers or something like that and you're having trouble finding them, using a metal detector, you still can't find them. So I found something that's a lot easier and a lot more accurate to pinpoint GPS locations using just your iPhone for a few $100. Let's get after it. Okay, I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. You may have experience using GPS on your phone and basically, navigating someplace works awesome. But if you want it to be highly accurate, you probably have experience with the iPhone telling you you're at the edge of your driveway or on a path or something, but it's off by a little bit, which usually isn't a big deal. But in what we're doing when we're identifying, putting flags in the ground where the septic system corner is or where the road is going to cut the curb, you have to be exact as far as the city is concerned, especially if you're marking where the meter is for the water district. It has to be dead on. So unfortunately, using the GPS capabilities that come with the iPhone are not going to be acceptable. You have to use RTK FIX. And I'm going to show you how to do that, which is part of a larger global network of GNSS, Global Navigation Satellite System. Now, in order to do RTK FIX, I purchased these little devils off of a company in China, and just for a few $100. And I also got this great stick that will mount on a tripod out in the field, and it'll hold my iPhone while I'm using it. So this was in comparison to some other solutions that you'll find online, a few $100 versus several thousand to basically get just as accurate a data. And I'm sure some vendors out there that might see this video would argue that, this is a piece of crap, but unless they've tested it, and I've done a lot of that, but I haven't done a lot of comparison, but I can tell you if it's within a 1 or 2 inches, I'm okay with that, as long as it's accurate, which I believe it is. This is a great little device, and so you just know that you can pick these up very inexpensively and they're highly accurate. And I'll put a link in the description down below if you're interested in learning where I got these. I also, because I did so much testing with it and working with it, I read their manual and then I rewrote their manual, included some example configurations. So if you want a copy of my manual, just contact me or make a comment down below and I'll get it out to you. The very first thing you're going to want to do is plug this, they provide a cable, just plug it into your PC to give some power, plug it into a wall, plug it into USB, anything, so it'll power up. The top green means it's already in rover mode. The blue blinking down below means it's trying to Bluetooth connect. So let's do that next. Go into settings and Wi-Fi networks, and you will find there it is, the Nano. Connect to that wireless network. Now you're not on your local network, you are communicating on the Wi-Fi put out by this little tiny device. Next, we're going to bring up a browser. Type in the IP address 192.168.4.1. It's with all of them. It doesn't change. And really, we already know it's in rover mode because that's the default. So we're just going to, I guess we could check out the GNSS tab. Yeah, it's already in rover mode right there. A few other options. I'll talk about base in another video. So we're taking the defaults, really. Everything's just the defaults. We're going to go over to the settings tab and we're going to look for Wi-Fi. I already connected it ahead of time to my local area network, which you have to do. But remember, after you do this, you're going to lose communication with it because it's going to get a different IP address. So I'm not going to be able to, refresh my browser and see anything because look at the IP address right there. 192.168.0.33. So the IP address changed. It's on a different network than my iPhone at this point. So if I come back up here and I put in that new IP address 192.168.0.33 and I hit enter, it is not going to work. Why? So I'm still looking at that other interface. What is happening? Well, I'm on the wrong wireless network. So now I've got to get on the same wireless network as the device. I'm leaving what's called PA mode to go to STA mode. I explain all that in the manual. And now when I come back here and refresh my browser, you'll see that the device comes back up. There we go. So we're back in business. Now it's time to open SW Maps. This is a free software you can find online, and it's very good. And I'm just going to open an existing project because I haven't done a darn thing with it. First thing I got to do is I got a Bluetooth to connect to my RTK device. That black icon up there in the upper left-hand corner there that looks like the antenna, that's what we need to click on. So we're going to click on that. First thing I'm going to do is hit scan. That's going to bring up all the RTK devices that I can connect to. I'm going to check it off. And then at the bottom right, connect. There we go. We're connected. You can see in the bottom left there, we're single. That's not RTK FIX, but we'll fix that in a second. Next thing we got to do, notice our green icon up there on the left. We're successful. Now we're going to click on that little black cloud icon right next to it. And that is going to bring up our ability to connect to an N-trip caster. Okay, these are the N-trip casters that I have already put in the system. The second one, GODNet, is the one that worked really well for me. And since all you do is hit the plus sign in the upper left, so I'm just going to click on the pencil icon to edit it. I get all of these parameters from the vendor. So you pay $30, $40 a month. They send you what to put in here. I put it in there, send NMEA, GGA to caster there. I slid that to green. They told me to. And that's all I had to do. It was that easy, guys. The GODNet told me everything I had to put in here. So close that, click on it, and then hit connect down at the bottom right. And once you hit connect, notice at the bottom we're getting connected. Close that right up there. And notice the two icons at the top are green. That's good. We got a single red icon there. Let's investigate that. This shows us how many satellites we're hitting, what our horizontal accuracy is, and look where the fixed type is. It still says signal, but watch it. Watch what happens. There you go. So we're getting better connection. Our total horizontal and vertical accuracy is going to improve. So what we'll do now is we'll close this window, and notice it turned from red to orange, and pretty quick that is going to turn to green as well. Okay, I covered that really quickly, guys. Let's just slow it down a little bit. Use this diagram to talk about what we've done so far. All right, first of all, here at the bottom, we've got the iPhone, and we connected to these satellites directly. It's not, really accurate. It's not reliable to, down to an inch or two or millimeters. So we decided to use this RTK device. So the very first thing we did is we connected to it on its Wi-Fi, right? The nano _ last 4 characters of the MAC address. And, 192.168.4.1. And we took all the defaults. We went to the network settings and we changed it from AP mode to STA mode. Now, don't worry, I cover all of that process. If I covered it too fast in this video, in the manual, just reach out to me and I'll make sure you can get a copy of that. After it was in STA mode, right, we lost connectivity. So then we had to hit it with that IP address that it got when it connected to our local Wi-Fi. That meant I had to go back into my iPhone and tell it not to get on the RTX device's Wi-Fi and get on my personal Wi-Fi. So once I did that, then I could launch SW Maps. When I brought up SW Maps, I had to connect using Bluetooth. So now I've got a Bluetooth connection going in SW Maps to the RTX. And then the RTX is going to communicate with the N-trip caster through the Wi-Fi network. So my iPhone, in a sense, is acting as a router for the RTX device to get to the N-trip caster. All right, so there's quite a bit going on there. Let's just review that a little bit more. We've got the Bluetooth, so the SW Maps can communicate with the RTK device and show me the information that the RTX is getting very accurate. And how is it getting it really accurate information? Well, it's sharing information with the N-trip caster by sending that information to the iPhone over Wi-Fi, right? And then the iPhone is acting as a router, connecting the RTX device to the N-trip caster on the internet, which I have, I'm running an evaluation of their N-trip caster service. So both the RTK rover and the N-trip caster are, communicating to a lot of the same satellites in order to give me this really accurate information. If you're curious of my setup, this is what it looks like. Got the iPhone connected, the RTK device right next to it, and then I've got these big old batteries that are powering the whole thing so that I can go 2 days without a recharge. Pretty slick setup. Now I know I'm covering a lot of acronyms, and there's a lot of stuff in the interfaces that I didn't cover. What's a rover? What's base? What's N-trip? All of that stuff, all those acronyms, I spent several days learning this stuff and coming up to speed. And so I didn't want this video to be about that, but it really is necessary if you want to use these technologies to understand all the different acronyms and how they relate. All right, back in SW Maps, you can see that the satellite has gone green, so everything's connected. We got lots of satellites, and I'm walking around now in my pool, and I'm actually trying to get, just seeing how fast it keeps up. Take a look at my horizontal accuracy, vertical accuracy, very, very good. Picked up a few more satellites because in order to get it green like that, you've got to have open sky. You can't have a canopy of trees or anything like that. So I just started walking around with the RTK rover, and right here I'm standing at the top of my walkway that goes down to the canal, and it's not lined up exactly right with Google, and that's because Google Maps are not perfect with GPS RTK coordinates. So don't expect your Google Maps to be accurate ever. They could be off by several feet, maybe even meters. So I'm just kind of moving around, and I can record this data. I can do tracks, but imagine if I had to get pinpoint accuracy. I could just bring up the satellite image, look at my GPS coordinates, and I can know, boom, that survey marker should be perfectly right here. Again, take a look at the satellites and use the vertical accuracy. So this means that I can be very confident that when I put my little red flag in the ground, that this is the exact spot I told the city engineers where the corner of my campsite or the road is going to be. You might be wondering if it's possible to get RTK FIX without a subscription to an N-trip caster. Well, there definitely is, and it involves two of these devices. One of them has to be a base station, and I use the N-trip caster evaluation, so I never actually pay for it anyway. But if you want to do a lot of it, you're going to need a base station if you want to avoid a subscription. And I'll explain how to set these devices up for that configuration in another video. If you want to learn more about living in Southern Maine, watch this next video.